Tasmanian for one of the technicians there. The technician's 2 cents worth from the Tasmanian Devil. How are you, buddy?
Mate, I'm good. A lot better than a lot of people, I guess. And we're fairly free and easy here in Tasmania because we've locked down in terms of shutting the borders. But like you and Ainslie have just discussed, the vaccination rate is very poor. I'm only halfway there, have been for 3 or 4 weeks, but I've got a few weeks to go, and I can't wait for that to happen, frankly. And I just don't get the anti-vaxxers, and I certainly don't get the lack of a rollout in Australia, but I'm not a social commentator. Mate, I do my best work looking at charts, mate, I think.
Oh, man, I tend to agree with all of that, Geoff. I mean, technics is what we do, and well, we all have an opinion on this stuff, but we're not experts. But I'm pleased you're going to get the second vaccine soon. And the anti-vaxxer thing, look, I just think the world's going in a direction. I hope it is where, we all have the choice reasonably soon. You get vaccinated or you take the risk. And that, while I think there's real concerns about a version of COVID-19 that beats the vaccine, that'll devastate this planet for human beings. Completely change everything in a matter of weeks. But other than that, I like what Scott Morrison's saying. Let's get everybody vaccinated. That's what Boris is saying. Let's get everybody vaccinated. Let's get on with our lives. The Singaporeans did away with this a few weeks ago, and to be honest, I'm with them. Let's get everybody vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine. But your choice is get vaccinated or you risk COVID-19. And look, if you're 20
roll the dice.
Take a choice, right? As long as I'm vaccinated, you can't give it to me, really. It's like it's your choice, right? But let's not have some vaccinated, some not vaccinated, and the border's closed to everything. But again, it's only the rant of a couple of traders, old fellas chatting, Geoff. It's not. We're not experts. What about charts, Geoff? Been a good week for you, hasn't it?
Grumpy old men.
Grumpy old men in lockdown.
Yeah, look, there's no lockdown in Tassie. Hasn't been forever, pretty much, and pretty pleased about that. But the charts have been fairly, I don't know, predictable, but they've been talking. So, and that's a good thing. If they're talking to you, you've got a chance, and they have been talking to us lately, and I'm very pleased about that. I'm hoping that will be the case, of course, again this week. I'm going to start with, I guess, the way I've been doing things from a Sunday point of view, and I think the Sunday show is very valuable for that reason, because it gives me a very good look into the week ahead and what my plan will be. In this case, I'm looking at Euro Pound, and Euro Pound, if you look at that chart in isolation, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 indecisive candles. I certainly see that, but I also see this big red line here, and to me, it's a clear line in the sand. And I see a potential false break of that with this big bar that we saw back in March. And for the life of me, I can't remember what instigated that. But since then, we've just danced around this level. We came back to it, and then we've ducked underneath it. And for the last 6 weeks or so, we've been steadily building a position that just can't get back above there. And I think the last bar that we got this last week just gone is very, very clear to me. It is a reversal bar, a key reversal bar, in my humble opinion, that is leading us to think we're going back to the bottom of this range. This range, of course, being the descending channel. Now, you could choose to trade that if you wished. I think that's probably there, but the daily chart is very, very ordinary, I've got to say. And I don't see a way in there on the daily chart. So you could trade the weekly by going underneath that bar, put your stop loss above it. The monthly pivot is new, and I'm not sure where that is, frankly, but it will maybe come into play. It may not. I would be looking at trading that bar. Of course, this is all caveated by if there is no big gap in the market tomorrow. I don't know if there will be. I don't know what the news is over the weekend, frankly, but to me, this is the line in the sand. And I think trading this short back down to the bottom of the range, maybe where there's a confluence with the bar that set this off, would make sense to me. So if you can have a look at that one, Euro Pound, I think it is eminently trade worthy. Euro Swissy is not dissimilar, but it is a little bit on the differing side. What we have here is, again, that well, there was a big burst here back in May rather of 2020. We spent a year underneath that level until February 21, not quite a year. And then we burst through again and came to this support level, this former support level. And since then, we've gone into trend, and we've trended short since that moment. The interesting part that ceased that trend, to my mind, was this move back in February 2020. Sorry, that's not true. What I'm looking at here is this bar here, 2 weeks ago. And you'll recall that 2 weeks ago we had that momentous thing called the FOMC, or the Fed statement, which threw the market into a little bit of turmoil. What it didn't do, in my humble opinion, from a technical perspective, is it didn't change anything in terms of trend. So we're still getting lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, potential lower high there last week. Now, we've been trading this Euro Swissy both up and down. And we're now out of the long that we placed a couple of weeks, or last week, was it last week? Maybe in the week before. I now see this as a clear break below that former rectangle or box, if you want. Interesting now that it's also come underneath that trade line. It's tried and tried and tried, can't go high, can't go short. I think this is clearly an opportunity for us to get short, but not underneath that candle. We need to see a retracement here. So I'll be looking for a retracement on either Monday, Tuesday, maybe even back to the pivots, wherever they may be. And then I'll be looking to potentially trade this short. You might get tomorrow a bullish decisive bar. If that's the case, then I think that's worthy of a trade underneath that bar. In particular, if it's an inside bar, that would be good. So that's Euro Swissy. Now I'm going on to two more pairs, Swissy yen and pound Swissy. This seems to be all about risk on currencies or risk off currencies and the safe haven currencies. This is one versus the other, Swissy versus the yen. And we had a big bearish engulfing bar, again, Fed motivated, I believe, or Fed driven. Then we got this response from the market, which didn't engulf the candle, of course. And this has been the funny thing, hasn't it, really? Has the Fed really moved the market into trend, or has it not? And we really haven't got a decision on that yet. Have we gone into trend? Have we reversed what was there? I still think we don't know. But what we do know is that this key level here, and it's a corker. If you follow that through, it's been strong resistance all the way, and then it finally broke, and then it's become a retest of that level. I think this has got every right to go further than it has, and for that reason, not alone, but we've had a key reversal bar on 2 weeks ago, and now we've had another key reversal bar the week before last, and now we've had an inside bar on the back of all that. The problem I've got here is that we're trading straight into the new monthly pivot, or is that the old monthly pivot? That's a good question. Anyway, the new monthly pivot's not far away from there. So that's going to be the issue. What I'd really like to see is the monthly pivot get broken and retested, or price run back down here. Maybe in here somewhere is a nice little double bottom scenario, and we can get something in the bank before we hit that new monthly pivot. Or, as I said before, break it, retest it, then we look to go long. I think that's an excellent candle scenario on the back of that big break and retest of that horizontal level that we've seen. Pound Swissy, quite the reverse, frankly. And what I see here, if we go to the monthly chart, you can see again, the longer term is not long. In this case, we're getting lower highs and lower lows. Been a little bit disrupted by the recent rally that we've seen, well, the 2021 rally, let's put it that way. And now we've come back down and underneath that, I'll call it a trade line because it's not really a trend line. And now that we're back underneath that, we're getting a rejection of that level again. We're at the top of this range. So we've had rejection of the top of that range. We were to close underneath the monthly pivot. I think this is an excellent range trade. And I think you can find an entry in here, any entry in here somewhere off those pivots looks good to me. Not sure that's the right candle for me on a daily chart. And of course, I want to see if there's going to be a gap in the market in the morning. If there's not, and we do get a lower high in here somewhere, then I think this is an excellent opportunity to trade this short. Of course, you want to be taking profit before the lows. Who knows what happens after that, frankly, but it does look as though there's a big level down here that's beckoning price, and that's around about, 600 pips away from where we are now. So if you can get into that, then I think that's very much worthy of our attention. It is a key reversal bar followed by an inside bar. So I will, providing there is no gap in the market in the morning, I will go short underneath the last week's bar, and I'll put my stop loss above it. So that is me for this week. Of course, you can catch up with me every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Trading Buddies, and that's at 5 to 3 Singapore, Hong Kong time. And of course, I'll be back next Sunday with exactly the same scenario as I've given you today, where we look at the weekly charts and see what we can trade in the week ahead. So that for this week is my 2 cents worth.
Cheers, Geoff. Thanks for that. Appreciate the chat at the start, too, mate. It was nice to have a chat, and always interesting to have a look at your weekly charts, mate. You're back at 5 to 3 p.m. Singapore, Monday to Thursday, right, for Trading Buddies?
You bet.
Cheers, mate. We will catch up with you then. Thank you very much for that. And thanks to the rest of you guys for joining us this week. We are going to... We're going to call it a night for tonight. We'll be back next week. A couple more of the team hopefully back with us next week. A little bit less going on socially for the group, hopefully. Do a good trading week, and remember to stay calm and make good decisions. And if you do that, everything will work out for itself in the end. Take care. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. See you all.